Hello, candle lovers! Thank you so much for tuning in to me today. My name is Greg, and this is all about candles, coming at you from another hotel room today. I'm just headed all over the place for the next couple of weeks for work. I'm headed all over the country for various meetings and conferences. And when I travel, I do take candles with me. And I usually take candles that only have a little bit left on them so they don't weigh my suitcase down too much. And then when I finish them up, I can film a review in a hotel room and get it out there. And today I wanted to talk about Vanilla Noir from Bath and Body Works. I'm so glad that they put this fragrance in candle form, and I think that the packaging on this is wonderful. 10 out of 10 on the packaging. I love this like textured silk looking wraparound, or maybe it's like a leather looking texture to it, and the label is really nice, and the lid is black. Just no complaints about the packaging on this candle at all. I actually feel like this fragrance is considerably different in candle form than it is in the cologne and the body care. In fact, I have a review out there for the Vanilla Noir cologne and body care. If you wanted to check it out, I'll link to it below. It's actually one of the most popular videos that I've ever done for my channel before. And I think that the fragrance is considerably different in this candle, but in a good way. I like the difference. The scent notes on it are rich vanilla, bergamot spice, and patchouli. And I think it's interesting. I feel like there is such a prominent leather fragrance in here that is not listed, and I think that the leather note and the vanilla note is much more prominent in the candle than it is in the cologne. What I get on top, the top notes of this are, it's a little bit of that spice, a little bit of that citrus from the bergamot and spice from the patchouli, but it's very, very light. This candle is much less top heavy than the cologne is. I really feel like in the cologne you get that spice and that citrus really quite sharp and prominent on top, and in the candle it's much more subdued. You need to search for those notes a little bit more. But for me, the main component of this fragrance, the middle of it, the heart of it, is a really gorgeous, like supple, leathery note, and I really, really like it. You guys know I love leather fragrances and I love vanilla fragrances, so this is really right up my alley. A very pronounced, like warm and supple, soft, leathery note, and then in the base of the fragrance you get that vanilla, and the vanilla really comes across a lot in this candle. It's not super sweet, it's really kind of a smooth and creamy vanilla, and it just balances it out so nicely. I absolutely love the way this candle smells, and I like it considerably more than the cologne. And that's saying a lot because I really, really like the cologne too. I've been wearing it for quite a while. Yeah, I just love this. I think it's interesting what's happening with a lot of the men's fragrances at Bath and Body Works right now. I think we heard there was like a leaked call from like corporate office like last year at some point, and I think one of the things they identified was that the men's collections are one of the fastest growing sort of sections of the store right now. Like the men's stuff is becoming a lot more popular, and I think that they've changed the way that they're marketing the men's fragrances quite a bit. I think that at this point it's become very obvious that the men's cologne and the men's fragrances are actually being marketed towards women to buy for their men. Do you see what I'm saying here? Bath and Body Works are marketing the fragrances, the packaging, the names of everything. They're marketing towards females, wanting those females to buy these products for their boyfriends, for their husbands, for their sons, and for their fathers. And I think that's why we've also seen a lot more of a bit more, slightly more feminine fragrances in the men's collection than we usually do. Even one of the more recent releases, that To the Moon, we had that First Sight, which was a very very unisexual fragrance, a very feminine fragrance, actually, in my opinion. I've been seeing a lot of ladies out there really loving vanilla Noir and wearing it themselves as their personal fragrance. Even thinking of, I really like that single barrel bourbon fragrance, and that was really, really nice and leaned masculine as well, but it was also fairly feminine for a men's fragrance. And we're just seeing that a lot at Bath and Body Works right now. I think that they know what they're doing. I don't want to generalize, but I don't think that a lot of straight men are going into Bath and Body Works by themselves to pick out their own body care and colognes and stuff like that. I just really don't think that's happening. None of the men's fragrances that we're getting from Bath and Body Works right now are really like rugged, masculine, spicy fragrances. They're really, really not. If you go into department stores right now and test out some of the trending men's fragrances that lean more masculine, I mean, it's completely different than the type of men's fragrances that we're getting from Bath and Body Works. And I think Vanilla Noir is a really, really good example of that. It's really a more feminine version of Noir, and I'm all here for it. I absolutely love it. And like I said, I've worn this cologne for a while. The performance on this candle, I wish it had been a little bit better, you guys. Oh, it pains me to say. I'd say that the first half of it did pretty well. The first half of the candle did quite well. I'd say that in my more open space, it was maybe like a 6 for strength and throw. There was definitely a presence in my more open space, but it wasn't blowing me away. You know what? I think I need to retract that and say it was probably about a 5.5 in a more open space. It really, really wasn't quite getting up to that 6. However, when I put it in the bedroom, it was definitely getting to that 6, maybe even the 6.5 range. The first like half of the candle with good, deep, even wax pools in the bedroom, I'd say it was getting up, maxing out at like a 6.5. But generally speaking, the average burn in a more open area, probably only about a 5.5, which isn't great. And so I kept this candle in my bedroom for most of the time, and I think that it makes for a great bedroom candle. I think this is a perfect kind of sexy bedroom fragrance. But what really frustrated me about this one was the way that it was dudding out after the halfway mark. I did end up getting through the whole candle. I burned it all the way down until the entire candle had liquefied, and those wicks look like they're standing up pretty straight and tall right now, but they were really having issues for almost the entire last half of the candle, to the point where I did something I almost never do, and I used some little cotton pads to remove a little bit of wax from the wax pool at a certain point. I was so desperate for it to pick up some steam. I think I even took a photo or a little bit of video of this candle when it was dudding out really badly so I could show you guys. It felt like the entire last half of the candle did that. And I would remove a little bit of wax, but I always find that that's only ever a very temporary fix, and then it goes back to dudding out again. And I was just playing that game with it for the entire last half of the candle. So that is so disappointing, you guys. I love this fragrance so much. I wish that I could report to you this was a solid 7 for strength and throw in my more open area, burned beautifully from top to bottom, but unfortunately that just wasn't the case. It was a really nice clean burn, but you know, when candles are dudding out like that with the itty bitty wicks and the teeny tiny flames, it really affects the performance. However, all of that being said, I do think I'm gonna have to repurchase this one, you guys. I was okay with the way that the first half of the candle performed in my bedroom, and so I'll probably get another one, burn the first half of it in the bedroom, and then put the last half of it either under a candle lamp or in a candle crock. That's how much I like this fragrance, particularly the candle version of this fragrance. I just think it's so so sexy and smooth and leathery and wonderful. I absolutely love it. So it is going to be a repurchase for me. I don't think I can really recommend it. You know, I'd be interested to know if anybody in the comment section had the same dudding out issues that I had. I mean, it was the entire last half of the candle. It was a pretty bad dud out situation. And so I would recommend the first half of this candle and not recommend the last half. That's for sure. Anyways, yeah, Vanilla Noir, Bath and Body Works. A bit of a mixed bag on this review, I know, but hopefully someone out there will find this useful. Thank you so much for joining me today, folks. I really appreciate it. You can follow me on Instagram at allabootcandles and email your burning questions to allabootcandles@gmail.com. If you could hit me up with a like, a comment, or subscribe to my channel, share it with somebody else that might be interested, that would really mean the world to me. And until next time, my dear, gorgeous, and beautiful candle-loving friends, let's burn some candles and bitch about it. Thanks, you guys. Bye for now.